A delegation of Turkish military and intelligence officials are in Moscow to talk about increasing cooperation in the fight against Daesh. It comes just 2 days after the Turkish president was in St. Petersburg to reset relations with Russia. Well, the Turkish Foreign Minister Mevlut Çavuşoğlu says the country is ready to work with Moscow.
We will discuss all the details. That's why the soldiers are talking. We have always called on Russia to carry out anti-Daesh operations together. We have a common enemy, which is a terror group. Let's fight against this terror group all together so that we can clear this terror group out from here. If not, Daesh keeps expanding its territory, infiltrates into other countries. Look at the attacks in Europe. Now they have a presence in Libya.
Well, Hasan Abdullah joins us now live from Ankara. So Hasan, this is a significant moment. What exactly has been agreed between the two countries?
Kamali, Turkey has been for some time calling for joint operations and cooperation against terrorist groups like Daesh and so forth. Of course, what Turkish Foreign Minister Mevlut Çavuşoğlu is saying is that there is a need for greater cooperation between Turkey and Russia when it comes to dealing with Daesh. Of course, the Turkish position is that Daesh is not just a threat to other countries, but Turkey is the country that is likely to suffer the greatest fallout from the crisis in Syria. Also, at the same time, there hasn't been any formal agreement as yet. Just a few minutes ago, I spoke to the Foreign Ministry spokesman and I asked him whether there had been any sort of formal agreement, and he said that he wasn't aware of any formal agreement at this point in time. However, there are some differences that are being discussed at the moment between Turkey and Russia, and of course Turkey is calling for greater intelligence sharing and also perhaps logistical sharing between the two countries.
And Hasan, there are numerous challenges, as you mentioned, some of them there, but the most pressing surely must be the opposing sides the two countries are on the future of Bashar al-Assad.
That's right. That's certainly one of the differences that Turkey is discussing with Russia at the moment. There is this slight divergence of interest. Turkey, of course, is looking at a number of factors, one of them being that whatever happens in Syria, if something goes wrong in Syria, then Turkey is the country that's going to face the greatest fallout. Now, Turkey is arguing that there has to be a clear distinction made between terrorist groups like Daesh and local resistance, people who are fighting against the regime in Syria because they regard that regime as illegitimate, as oppressive. Other than that, Turkey is also arguing that groups like PYD and other PKK affiliates should not be supported in Syria because while they may provide some sort of short-term tactical gains, in the long term that could prove to be disastrous, especially the consequences for Turkey could be quite significant, and there's going to be a fallout effect, a sort of a trickle-down domino effect. So Turkey is saying that it's very important that allies are very carefully selected and countries do take into account Turkey's considerations when it comes to making allies and when it comes to targeting different groups in Syria.
Okay, well, Hasan, for now in Ankara, thank you.